Hello, everyone. This is another episode of When You Learn with Friends. I'm Carl.
I'm Jason.
I'm Devin.
And again, before we get into our main subject today, I just want to check in with the guys if they've done their homework yet. Because I let it pass by last time, but now you're turning in the homework late. And after this, I might have to go further repercussions. Did you do your homework?
I'll let Devin answer.
Oh, okay. Putting it on me. I mean, no, I didn't.
No, I didn't either.
I'm a bad student.
That's fine. Well, you couldn't do the Jurassic Park homework because I couldn't figure out a way so we could all watch it.
Yeah.
But I think
But
later
I've
this
seen
week
that.
we can.
So.
Well, Jason has not seen Jurassic Park.
I know.
Yeah, no.
But it's on Netflix now.
No?
okay.
So we can do a watch party. So we can get that. We'll get that set
Get
up.
that done.
But today is quite a special episode for us. We'll get into it later.
Yeah.
I wanted to do a special thing for our kind of like our pseudo last episode.
Mhm.
And that is talk about my favorite game of all time.
Monster
Ooh.
Hunter.
Nope.
Has to be.
The Incredible Hulk for the DS.
Wait, what?
Yeah, don't you guys? I never shut
What
up
is
about this
this?
game.
What is this, Carl?
I.
It's the Incredible Hulk for the DS. I 100% completed it for you guys.
How are
for
you
the
getting
podcast.
this displayed? I don't.
that
Oh,
a
it's an
100%?
emulator.
Yeah, no.
Is that an
I
actual
have a
100%?
DS.
Is that an actual 100% file?
Yeah, it's a 100% file. You
Okay.
can play in Alaska, Brazil, United States, because it's based off of the
Okay.
Marvel movie with the Hulk.
Wait, hold on. Alaska, Brazil,
Why-
United States.
Why is
You
the
know, those are
icon for
different.
United States?
It's in
Not-
like Canada.
Yeah.
Also, why are Alaska and the United States different?
Yeah. I don't get it.
What is this?
Well, it doesn't make sense because he didn't go to Alaska until the end of the movie, but that's where the game starts.
What movie is this even based off of?
It's the 08, the 08 Godzilla. The 08 Hulk movie. It was the one that came after Iron Man.
that really crappy one?
Yeah.
It wasn't horrible. I loved it as a kid because I love the
Probably
Hulk.
one of the worst
Hulk is
movies.
dope.
We'll just agree to disagree on that one.
I
Okay.
can't. You're not being serious. This isn't a thing.
This is your favorite game?
No, yeah,
Okay,
it's all,
cool.
all time. And you have different skins for the Hulk.
Of course.
And
Yeah,
look at those
I'll
polys.
have the DS.
Oh, Planet
graphic.
Hulk.
Glory. What is
We
it
got the
all?
Green Scar, World War Hulk, Mysterio, and then we start getting into the weirder
Iron
ones.
Hulk?
Yeah, the Hulkbuster.
But the
Yeah, yeah.
Hulkbuster is a suit. It isn't actually him.
Yeah, but it's the
Interesting.
size of the Hulk.
Okay, fair enough.
All right, I'm done with that. No, we're not talking about this.
That's what I thought.
Oh, thank God. Okay.
No, you sillies. You know what my favorite game of all time is?
Monster Hunter.
Yeah.
It is Monster Hunter. Yes, you are right.
Are you sure it isn't the Hulk?
No, it is Monster Hunter.
Oh,
I mean, the Hulk's pretty dope.
I
but,
was excited to play that drive.
we'll play it later. I want to talk about everything Monster Hunter. So I've been doing research for the last month because there's so much shit, dude. There's just so much fucking shit.
Yeah.
But I've narrowed it down to I'm gonna let you know ahead of time the format. I'm going to talk about my favorite things about Monster Hunter, and then I'm actually going to hand it off to you guys.
Oh.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, I made a spreadsheet of every single monster in the main series Monster Hunter games.
Oh my God.
Yep. And what I want you guys to do is I've highlighted specific ones that I want you to look at when we get there. That was part of the research. I found every existing monster in Monster Hunter in the mainline games because there's technically 400 monsters throughout the series as a whole.
That's a lot of monsters.
And what I mean by monsters, I mean, so for those who are not in the know, Monster Hunter is a game where you don't have levels. It's not a traditional game. Comically, you could easily compare it to Dark Souls, where your movement is very calculated, very much like you need to know what you're doing before you do it because your movement isn't super speedy. very deliberate movement, I think is the good way to say it. Would you agree, Devin?
I would say pretty much. Yeah, I mean, it's all about pattern recognition in the bosses, which is a very similar thing to Dark Souls. It's about, knowing where you need to be to make the next right, attack.
And here, not how it's different from Dark Souls, because I hate saying that.
Mhm.
Very good to Dark Souls, but it's very apt.
In that way.
Is that the whole game is just boss fights after boss fights, in the form of quests where you're asked by the guild or someone's paying the guild to get them a monster or to get rid of this monster, and you fight those monsters to get materials for armor and weapons. I'll get into this more because I'll get into this with the 3 monsters that are my favorite monsters of all time. But I'll just start with the Lagiacrus. This is the Lagiacrus here. I also have some B-roll of me fighting it in its game that it came out on, which was Monster Hunter Tri, but the footage you're seeing is Monster Hunter 3 Ultimate, and I just love the Lagiacrus. As you can see, how it looks is very much a serpent. It's like a leviathan is the species name.
Very aquatic.
Yeah.
Well,
Almost Loch
because
Ness monster.
Yeah, because the game that it came out in, the big thing they wanted to sell was you could finally fight in water. So in previous games, if you saw a body of water, you couldn't go into it. In this game, you see a body of water, more than likely you can jump into it and swim.
That's pretty cool.
No, cool.
But Devin, you're more.
It's kind of clunky. I mean, it's
is
not
very
the best.
clunky.
Yeah.
The footage you're actually showing here, this is my first time getting back into the water after not playing it since high school. So 6 years ago, and it was
I remember
very
playing
clunky.
this game.
But the Lagiacrus is super cool because it's like this sea leviathan that it shoots electricity. Like that's its main element that it uses. It electrically charges its body because it's kind of like if electric eel was on steroids. That's what the Lagiacrus is. It has electric generating organs on its body, and it uses that to
Can you
shock
even
people.
dodge that electric attack? You're in water.
Yeah, you can still dodge in water.
Oh.
It's weird.
No, but like
It's an electric attack in
Yeah,
water.
it should shock
Anything in the
everything around.
surrounding area,
Gameplay wise, I'm trying to figure out how to work.
Yeah, a lot of its attacks is especially when it's in the water, it'll do a radius of electricity around itself.
Okay.
Only
That
one
makes
attack does it have a projectile, as you can see right there. Maybe it's not the best shot, but it has a projectile electric attack. Basically, its saliva is semi-conductive, so basically it hawks a loogie at you and it's electrified, and that's its distance attack. Yeah, but what I got here is I also own the Monster Hunter concept art books all the way to book 3, and so I digitally scanned all these concept art. This is what the armor looks like for the monster.
That's really cool.
Yeah,
Armor sets in Monster Hunter are there's some really cool ones.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Yeah, specifically the older ones. No tea, no shade to Monster Hunter World, but I like the older armor sets. They are
I kind
more
of noticed
fantastical.
that.
Yeah, it has to go more on the lines of the design motif they went for Monster Hunter World, where it's like, no, this is more realistic, but you're seeing that in the world where there's creatures like this that I have. But this is its armor. I think this is... So a big thing in the early games, too, is there was 2 types of armor. There was your Blade Master armor, and then your Bowgun armor. Those were 2 different armor sets because they provided you 2 different types of skills that you would use on the armor.
Okay.
One would be more tailored to, you don't need certain skills that make it so when you sharpen your weapon, because in this game it has a sharpening mechanic, you can see the pulsing green knife below where my mouse is. You have to sharpen your weapon or else... Sorry, go ahead.
There are 2 other names underneath your names there. Are those your companions?
Oh, yeah. In Monster Hunter 3 and 3 Ultimate, normally in the series, you'll have cats go into battle with you, be your Meowster Hunter, I think is what they're called. This game really loves cats and their cat puns. I shit you not.
No.
the people who made this game have pet lizards and a shit ton of cats because the cat puns are egregious and all over the place. But your monster hunter is usually, in previous games, what would join in the fight with you. In this game, there's no cats, but you have Cha-Cha and Kiamba, and they're just like a weird. They're based off an enemy from an older game, and their abilities change depending on the masks that they wear. Like Cha-Cha has a Rathalos mask, so he'll just shoot a fireball, and the other one has a pitfall trap helmet, so he could just set another pitfall trap whenever you need it. Yeah. But back to the Legaicus armor, there's just two sets. One for guns that help you be a better bow gun user, and the other one that helps you be a better blade caster. And you can see how the designs of the Legaicus follow through to the armor, but they also follow through into the weapons. These are just roughly a spreadsheet of all the weapons that you can use. The great sword this is the great sword, and like these are the hammers, these are the guns. Here's the switch axe, which is an axe / a giant sword. Basically, it's an axe, but then you can transform it into a big fuck off sword.
It's pretty cool.
Zoom in on it just a tad bit. And yeah, I love the designs. I love the blue with the orange. What designs
is this your favorite monster?
It's one of 3. It's not the favorite, but it's the one that I love.
Okay. Yeah.
Like I just love the most because again, there's over 400 monsters in total, not in the main series games. But if I had to choose main series game monsters, Legaicus would be one of my favorites.
Okay.
Here's that's the cool thing. Here's more of the concept. Here's just the art.
Really cool.
Yeah.
Skeleton.
Well, yeah, that's they're trying to figure out the anatomy. And here's like other concept designs
Like a neck
that they were playing with. These are, as you can tell by the footage, these aren't the final ones that they went with.
Yeah.
Here's also another thing about Legaicus is in Monster Hunter, you can roughly put monsters into like 3 kind of tiers, and it's kind of just like where are they in like the food chain? Are they the apex, or are they bottom of the food chain, or are they in the middle? Legaicus is, top of the food chain kind of monster. Nothing. It basically has no natural enemies other than, let's say, hunters and one specific elder dragon, which is. I'll get to that in a little bit later on. But
now, are there multiple, like, do these things create offspring, or is there like only one Legaicus?
It's a species. There's multiple of them, and there's actually subspecies.
Interesting.
So you get a normal Legaicus, but let's say there's a Legaicus that rather than eating fish and normal things, it decided to eat crystals. That's when you get the ivory Legaicus, where its diet primarily pertained of crystals, which changed its pigment and how much electricity it can produce.
Magical rock powers.
Well, basically, it's hard. It has a harder tide, and it's more basically those electric organs are more going off crazier more because it can't naturally produce its electricity as it normally did. And then there's even another subspecies, which is literally the penultimate version of Legaicus, the abyssal Legaicus. This one is basically, if a Legaicus lives long enough to the age of 100, it'll be basically so supercharged that it's on the same line as an elder dragon, which is equivalent of forces of nature.
Wow.
Yeah. So this thing is literally just like you don't want to fight one of these things.
You have to.
And I mean, I never actually ever fought one because I never got that far into the game. Sadly, I haven't quote unquote 100% or completed a Monster Hunter game. I've never completed the online because you have a story mode and the online mode. This guy usually shows up near the end of the online mode, and I never got that far.
Gotcha.
And the only chance I did get to fight him was some weird event quest. So Monster Hunter is also the best game in the world because its DLC is free. If you want a special event armor, where it's like, I want my cat to look like Yu-Gi-Moto, or I want to look like Yu-Gi-Moto while my cat looks like Dark Magician, or I want to look like, Link from Zelda, that's all free downloadable quests.
That's pretty cool.
Going back to that, the only way I can fight an Abyssal Legaicus is an event quest where the monster is cranked up to 20, not 11, 20, and it doesn't matter what armor you wear, you'll get one-shotted.
One-shotted?
Yeah, it doesn't matter. Basically, your defense
goodness.
doesn't matter. It'll just kill you.
How do you win?
Don't get hit, I
That's-
guess.
Yeah, that's basically what it is. You
just have
can't
to get
get
really
hit.
like.
Oh, that's like basically
Super
is
pattern
Dark Souls
recognition.
at that point. No, I'm just
Yeah, and
Worse.
what's really cool about that event quest, it's like, okay, if you do pass it, the rewards you get after, because the way the game works is you kill the monster, you carve parts from the monster to use to make equipment. And some have higher chances of showing up than others. Some have, an 80% chance of dropping. Others have a 0.1% chance of dropping.
Mm-hmm.
And Legaicris has Epistle Legaicris Ruby, and that's like a 0.1% drop. But if you do the event quest, it's like, okay, we'll just give you one. So yeah,
So
and
you're
that's kind of all I have.
guaranteed,
You're guaranteed to get one, but it's also you're fighting a monster where you can't get hit
Yeah.
or you're fucked.
Yeah.
So it's worth it.
Yeah, and here is the quote-unquote elder dragon that eats it. This guy is I don't know how to say his name, Nukarakos, and yeah,
Like a
Nukarakos.
starfish? What is that?
It's like a cuttlefish. Basically,
He's a
it's
cuttlefish, or is he eating that?
So no, he's a cuttlefish, and all the bones are from monsters that he ate.
Whoa.
So yeah, his whole deal is that he traps other monsters to eat them, and he kind of hides and uses their skeleton basically look like them. Because when the Hunters Guild, because the Hunter Guilds have to do research on some of these monsters, because when they first show up, they're like, "What the hell is this thing?" They thought, "Oh, we have a Hydra monster because its tendrils would switch out, have heads on them." But then, as you fight him more, and as the research continues more, you realize, "Oh wait, he's just a giant squid monster."
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So that's the basics of the Legaicris. Now to move on to my other favorite monster is Zinogre. And I know some people want to pronounce it differently, but his name is, he's called Zinogre. And he is the most anime of anime monsters.
How do people pronounce it?
Well, because the Zinogre is kind of like a very rough translation of the Japanese.
Oh, okay. Is this
some
Monster
people
Hunter
say
World?
Zinogre. The footage I'm showing you now is World.
Oh, okay.
Because he showed up in Monster Hunter 3rd Portable. Because I will say the one thing I don't like that Monster Hunter did is you don't have to pay for DLC, but if they want to add new monsters, like in previous years, and they want to add new monsters, they basically told you buy a brand new game. The only thing that's different is we added like 15 new monsters. So, and they would do it within the span of like a single generation would have like 3 games in it. So that's basically asking you in a span of 4 years drop over like $200 to play the different versions of the game.
Wow.
Which I think is shady, but what they're doing now is Zinogre, like other DLC monsters in Monster Hunter World are like free DLC.
That's cool.
So you get a brand new monster that normally you would have to buy a brand new game to get to play monster.
Is it healing? What is it doing?
So this is the cool thing about Zinogre. The way his body works is he's another electricity boy. He likes to generate electricity. He doesn't have any electricity organs to generate stuff. But what he does is he likes eating a certain type of bird. It's called a gua. They're like these golden emu / ostrich looking like
Egg of
monsters.
Gua.
Yep. That's where I got it from. They're guas. Sorry, that's a reference to a D&D campaign I ran.
It clicked for me.
So these guas are the Zinogre thinks they're very delicious, but the guas eat thunderbugs, which is basically a bug that has the equivalent of a taser. If a bug could tase you, it'd be a thunderbug.
I've gotten hit by thunderbugs.
So the thunderbugs are like, wait, you eat the guas, and the guas eat us. So why don't we just stick with the Zinogre so we don't get eaten by the gua?
Smart.
And so they form a symbiotic relationship.
They're like pilot fish on a shark.
Yes. And so Zinogre has evolved into being able to harness their electrical energy. And as you saw right there, Zinogre could go Super Saiyan.
He's popping off, dude. Look at him.
Let me actually I want you to see it.
Is he just like, whenever he like attacks,
There we
just
go.
a bolt of lightning?
Yeah. Well, not exactly.
Holy crap.
There's only one other monster that just straight up just lightning from the sky, and Kieran could go fuck itself in World. That's all I'll say. Kieran could go fuck itself. I hate that thing. It's so hard to fight. So Zinogre can just basically power up with the electrical bugs, and it'll become more vicious. Its spikes all, rear up. Also, its armor is pretty fucking dope.
It was pretty
As
cool.
you can see here. This is usually like the first set that you get. and then this is the gunner set, and this is the G rank set. So in Monster Hunter, there's 3 types of difficulties too. We got low rank, high rank, and G rank, or for world master rank. G rank / master rank is basically, oh, you thought the game was easy? Well, fuck you. We'll crank it up to 11. And because of that, you get new armor designs, new weapon skills, and stuff like that. It's a lot of fun. And so this is what the armor looks like, and I think this is where other concept for the gunner armor.
Mm-hmm.
And here's the weapons. And the cool thing a lot about the weapons is that depending on how far you upgrade them, they'll start glowing with electrical energy too.
And that's pretty cool.
So like you can see in these dual blades, one of the set of dual blades has like a Zenogre fin that flicks out.
That's really cool.
Whoa.
And they all have the motif of those scales that he has on his back. Also, like I never got the Zenogre greatsword, so I might be wrong about this. But as you can tell here, they designed it where the 2 spikes would flip out when you draw it.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So like, you got semi-transforming weapons and stuff like that. And it's a lot of fun.
You know what that thing at the bottom looks like? It's like a part?
You talk about right here?
Yeah, over on the left. Yeah, the like
Right.
blades are like a part.
Yeah. Here's also more weapons. Here's like the hammer. Here's the hunting horn. So there's
Is a guitar?
is
Oh
a
my
guitar
God.
Wow.
I need that.
because his music has a very specific guitar sound to it.
That's cool.
Yeah, and so also for those who don't know, in Monster Hunter, you don't fight the monsters with just like a couple weapons. There's depending on the
A
game,
lot
there's
of different weapon types.
11 to 14 specific weapon types. In Monster Hunter Generations and Generations Ultimate, you could actually just be a cat and fight the monster as a cat.
Sounds like a good time to me.
Because actually, you can see in Worlds, I have my cat Max helping me. But so yeah, back to the Zenogre weapons. His hunting horn being one of the weapons that you can smack the monster with while giving your party boosts. Here's, I think, the gun lance. So think of a lance, but you can pop off, fire off shots. And you got a giant hammer that's as big as you.
It's a big hammer.
Yeah, the hammer is literally as big as your body. And so is usually the greatsword, the flip out blades. And here's more.
So is there?
Here's the switch axe. Here's the bow. Go ahead.
I have a question. So obviously these weapons would be unusable to a normal human. So is there any backstory on why these monster hunters are so strong that they can handle this kind of
yes
weaponry?
And no. I don't. That's the one thing because like Dark Souls, the lore for certain things are tucked away real like in the back corner. Like
you don't shove it in your face and make you like.
But things like that I would like to know because I believe you are stronger than average human. You're still human. But there are such things as Wyverians. They're basically human-like dragon people. But the only thing that makes them dragon-like is they have pointy noses, like a very like beak-like nose, pointy ears, and 3-toed, 3-claw hand kind of things. People. Other than that, they look like a normal person, but they have pointy ears, and they live for like 100. They live for like 500 years, kind of thing. Going to the concept designs, here's some of the concept designs for Zenogre. They really wanted to play with his body type and stuff like that.
What is he supposed to be like animal-wise? Is he supposed to be like a lion, tiger?
They wanted him to be a demon, like in Japanese lore, like a Oni, kind of like electric Oni demon. But they're like, well, this is also the great thing I love about Monster Hunter is that they go into super detail. Like they want to basically create a creature that could genuinely exist. So not just like a dragon. He breathes fire because he's a dragon. It's like, no. He has specialized organs, and this is how these organs work. Like that's the level of detail that they go into for every single monster. And so they're like, we can't just have a straight up fucking demon in Monster Hunter. It has to be an animal. So they based it off a canine. But his whole motif and idea is that he's like an electric demon dog.
Electric demon dog. Okay.
Yeah, and they even go they even like, okay, this is how the muscles would work.
Jesus.
Yeah, I'm telling you, they go into a crazy amount of detail.
Oh, so like coming up with ideas of how the muscles would be laid out so they can animate it more realistically, basically.
Yeah, they try to work on anatomy, and I know
that's so cool.
And on some of the games, they actually brought in actors or models.
Really?
And they brought in models for human models to test out, okay, how would someone actually wield a great sword? How would someone wield a hunting horn? How would someone wield the insect glaive?
Yeah.
So they gave them the people prop weapons and are like, okay, just do some flurries, do some ideas that we had, and see how they actually do it. And they based the animation off that.
That's cool.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, again, God, Monster Hunter's so good.
I feel you, dude. Very,
But
very.
what if I told
in-depth.
you that there's another subspecies of Zenogre, the Stygian Zenogre?
Wow. What's
So the
his deal?
So the Stygian Zenogre, rather than having thunder bugs,
He's got fire
he
bugs.
has dragon bugs.
Oh.
They have a specific name. Did I write down the name? Dragofugia bugs is what I wrote down. Dragonfugia bugs. Basically, they're bugs that eat dragon berries, which is, kind of crazy because even elder dragons don't fuck with dragon berries.
I don't fuck with those dragon berries, bro.
Yeah, well, because there's different elements. Weapons have different elements. So, like, you'll have a thunder sword or an ice sword or a fire sword. But you'll also have a dragon element. And so you're thinking, what the hell is dragon element? It's kind of just arcane energy, to put it very simply. It's like the original element, if you wanted to put it another way. And only elder dragons, except for a few exceptions, like Stygian Zenogre and, let's say, Devil Joe, can use dragon element. And the way Stygian Zenogre uses the dragon element is there's these bugs that eat the dragon berries, and he just feeds off the dragon energy of those dragon bugs. How many more times can I say dragon?
Dragon bugs.
Yeah. So he's Zenogre, but rather than electricity, he has dragon element. Also, he's way more aggressive.
Super.
And then we have a deviant monster. Now, deviant monsters are a little different. They're not a subspecies. It's basically if a Zenogre lives long enough and kicks enough ass, it'll start slowly changing over its life. And that's when we get Thunderlord Zenogre. This Zenogre has such a great symbiotic relationship with the bugs that he is constantly in, that Super Saiyan or Super Saiyan 2, to be, nerdy about it, mode of, electric power and stuff like that. So he's just basically, as he's walking around, electricity's just arcing off of him. And he's super powerful, and he is just, he has the equivalent of, like, summoning lightning from the sky to strike you down kind of dude.
It's crazy.
Yeah. And what's really cool is, side note, in Universal Studios Japan, because there's a Universal Studios theme park in Japan, they have a Monster Hunter exhibit where you can actually see, like, let's say the armor we have here and weapons. They will actually have physical props of those armor and weapons.
That's cool.
And they have an exhibit where they originally was Zenogre, but then they changed it for Thunderlord Zenogre, where you can meet a life scale of a Zenogre and have it roar and do its whole, it's kind of like a Disney ride where you just see it go crazy and roar at you, and then you move on to the next room.
Is it an animatronic?
But it's a giant animatronic, life-size animatronic.
What the?
So it's like the size of a car, animatronic.
What the? I gotta look this up. Hold on.
Really cool.
Yeah, I'll stick it. If I can find a GIF of it, I'll stick it into the episode. But it's because you could hear its theme song that it's playing as it's roaring.
It's pretty bad.
That's crazy. Wow.
And they also have it for a couple other monsters. They have it for the Rathalos, which actually I could get into that now. The Rathalos, the flagship monster. And what I mean by flagship, I mean in the game, in Monster Hunter, usually you have to have the new hotness on the box cover, right? And
of course.
that's what a
Makes
flagship
sense.
monster is. It's basically the face of the game for that generation.
Hmm.
Zenogre was a flagship monster for Monster Hunter Portable Third, which was a PSP game that was only in Japan. So we didn't get him when he first came out, which was a bummer.
Lame.
But now to finally get to the last monster I will show you until I, turn things over to you, is called Gormagala. Let me just fanboy first, and then I'll get into the specifics. But it's so fucking cool. It's just so cool. He's the best guy. He's so edgelordy, but that's not why I like him. But he's so much fun to fight, and he's so cool, and he's integral to the story where the game he came out. Oh, so cool. Now I need to compose myself. Okay. The factual reasons why he's cool is he was a flagship monster for Monster Hunter 4 and 4U. Well, sorry, Monster Hunter 4 Ultimate, but shortened to 4U. It's the Monster Hunter 4U. He is interesting because he's not categorized as anything. He's like a mystery monster. They don't know if he's like an Elder Dragon, a Leviathan, a brute wyvern, a normal wyvern. They don't know what category of monster he is.
You, man.
But here's the thing. Gormagala is a very aggressive monster. And it's interesting because some people say, like, when you look at a Gormagala, it's a very rare monster to encounter. But you'll never see it being scarred, which is odd because, being a creature, aggressive monster in Monster Hunter Land, you imagine you would have some battle scars, right? Not the Gormagala.
Always wins.
No, it doesn't fight. It doesn't need to fight because it has the way it sees. It has, as you can tell, it has eyes, but its eyesight is so poor that it uses micro hairs and scale fragments. That's kind of like the purple stuff you see here along the wing. That's its hair, micro hair and scales that it scatters around. Whoa. And it scatters them around and then puts up these feelers. And that's how it gets a better view of the world around itself.
What the?
Yeah. But there's a problem with those scales. Those scales are basically the zombie virus.
Oh. Okay.
This guy is basically a walking plague. Anywhere that he goes, monsters will get infected with the frenzy virus, is what it's called. They'll get infected with the frenzy virus. Like right now, I'm infected with the frenzy virus. If you look at my name here, you can see I have this bar. And what the frenzy virus does is it makes monsters go berserk. And so you'll have monsters that normally have some type of live in an ecosystem where maybe they're not top dog. They're in the middle of the food chain, so they don't just kill willy-nilly. They try to save their own hide. So monsters like those, though, low-tier monsters, will go batshit and try killing everything that they see. And because they have the effluvium, they'll pass it on to the other monsters that they're attacking. And then those monsters will pass it on to the other monsters. So it just keeps spreading and spreading. And even when monsters die, they'll come back because of the effluvium. You can kill a monster, but if it's affected with the effluvium, it'll get back right up.
It's crazy.
And what happens, though, is that they end up dying anyways because they're basically, it's if you were to take cocaine steroids for 3 days straight, after a while, you will burn out and just die because your body can't keep up anymore. And that's what usually happens to monsters that are frenzied, is that their bodies just give up and they fully die.
And then
so that's
this dude comes in and starts eating his prey.
Well, yeah, that's what he does. He'll come in and eat. Yeah, they die from exhaustion. But the thing is, the frenzy virus makes them stronger, faster, but a little bit weaker in the sense that they're getting slowly exhausted. But here's the crazy thing. What if I told you there were certain monsters that were like, oh, frenzy virus? Yeah, I fought that off, and now I use it as a weapon.
Oh.
Those are called apex monsters. And so in the post game of Monster Hunter 4 Ultimate, so 4U, apex monsters were basically the monsters. Oh, you can actually see his antenna now in the B-roll footage I have. You can see, if you see his head, you can see these horn things.
That's crazy.
Those are his technically feelers. So apex monsters are basically the most bad bitches of monsters. And they do a lot of things. The main thing is you can usually fight a monster until it gets out of its frenzy/apex mode. But when it's in its frenzy apex mode, it gets a damage reduction of 80%.
So it gets more defense.
Yeah, but apex monsters are usually monsters you only fight in G rank. So imagine fighting an Elder Dragon. So the hardest G rank monster you could possibly fight, well, actually, it's usually
is now infected with this crazy virus. Yeah. So now it takes.
I think a better example would be like Devil Joe, which is a T-Rex that's always hungry, and Rajang, which is a monkey that literally goes Super Saiyan. Those things hit hard on their own when they're in G rank. But imagine now that they hit like a tank, and you're only doing, and your damage every time you're hitting them is getting reduced by 80%.
Jesus.
And these monsters can one-shot you because they're also stronger because of the frenzy virus.
This is crazy, man.
Yeah. So
what kind of
this virus that
creep
this
is
guy,
this?
Yeah. So this monster is nothing to cough at, but you can fight it. Also, I totally forgot as I was talking. This is the armor. His motif is very much death.
Death.
He has a very strong death motif.
Very geeny.
What I love is his weapons.
Whoa!
Look at these. Look at these.
Those are actually really cool.
Wow.
That's the great sword. That's the longsword. His dual blades are just claws. So when you put them on, it literally just looks like you have Gore Magala claws that you're scratching at someone with.
That's cool.
The hammer is a giant skull, as you can see here. This is the hunting horn.
Whoa,
This is the lance. This is the gun. This is the bow. This is the insect glaive. This is the anyone who played for you and ran insect glaive ran this insect glaive because it just looked so cool.
Yeah.
This is the
That's
charge
really
blade, which actually insect glaive and charge blade were introduced in Monster Hunter 4. They were the brand new hotness, and they were kind of broken. That's why I made charge blade. But yeah, charge blade. This is its switch axe, the
Whoa,
scythe switch axe. I think this is the gun lance. This is some of the concept art. So they did a shit ton of concept art. So this is the final image. But they're playing with like, ooh, what if he was all white? What if he looked like this? More traditional dragon type. What if he, looked more beefy? Like, to my mind, the armor from Berserk, the Berserker armor from Berserk, I feel like this is just multiple forms of that. And it's just like so many pages and craziness, like all the different skulls, the designs, like hot damn.
Wow.
That's
They did a
great.
lot of
And-
design work on that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and then they were also playing like, what if he was a giant cat? Which I'm like, that would be funny. Like the game where it's like, yes, the big evil baddie is a giant kitty. So, but he's not an elder dragon. So what's interesting about
Oh,
elder dragons is that, yeah, he's technically not an elder dragon. But the thing, so you can actually use a shock trap because elder dragons won't fall for that shit. They will just walk over that and be like, nice trick there, dude. Ain't gonna work on me. What if I told you though that this guy has subspecies that's harder? That's when we get to. Oh, this is also another design. Chaos Gormagala.
Chaos Gore Magala.
because he
What the-
definitely needed to be more challenging.
Oh my god.
Well, yeah, he starts getting this gold stuff because what if I told you, Gormagala, that wasn't his final form?
I know.
What if I told you he transformed to this?
What the hell?
Now I always have a bitch pronouncing this name, so give me a minute.
Does he have
Um,
4 arms?
Yeah, 4 arms.
He's Machamp.
Well, no. So these arms are the wings, and so basically,
Jesus Christ.
Shira Magala.
Pizza shield? What the fuck?
No. I'm trying to pronounce the name.
No, I know, but look at the screen. Is that a pizza shield?
Oh no, that's the charge blade.
Of course.
So that's why I
Hey.
love Monster Hunter, because these fucking weapons. I knew, like, hold up, I gotta show off the fucking pizza charge blade. But like this one's kind of more of like an obsidian
That's nice.
charge blade. But I'm like, nah, gotta go with the pizza.
Making me hungry, Carl.
Yeah, well, I'll get into it if you want me to, but each game has done weapons differently. And let's say Monster Hunter Tri, if you wanted a certain weapon, you had to figure out, like by Google searching, you had to figure out which weapon you needed to get to upgrade to your weapon that you wanted. And depending on what weapon you wanted, you would have to like, oh, I need to get the bone blade, because the bone blade would turn into, the fire blade, and that will give me a chance to do this type of fire blade until I get to the Rathalos fire blade. And that's stuff that was not in game. But Monster Hunter 4 and all the way to Generations, I think not actually, Generations Ultimate did this, where you could just level up your specific weapon, and it was basically you had to do fashion hunting, where it's like, no, I like the way this weapon looks, I just wish it didn't mean that I was underpowered.
Interesting.
And so they were just like, fine, level up this individual weapon so you can still have your pizza charge blade, but it'll still be, somewhat still doing damage as if you upgraded to the pizza
Yeah,
charge blade with anchovies. The
Interesting.
next tier up.
that's
But
interesting.
so this is the Shira. I'm gonna call it Shira Magala, Magala, because I'm going to. I can't say its name, but Shira Magala. This is an Elder Dragon. It is no longer kind of like awkward teenage years that the Gore Magala was. This thing has full mastery over the Frenzy virus, and you can see here that Gore Magala can literally, Shira Magala can spit out the Frenzy virus, call it back, and home attack on you, like do homing damage to you.
Oh no.
That's insane.
And its eyes are fully developed. Its feelers are now horns. It is a force to be reckoned with. And this thing is fiercely territorial because it will literally, to the point where it won't take over like mountains. Mountains are big, right? It will take over a entire mountain range for itself by spreading its frenzy virus and killing anything that lives within its space.
It's just kind of like,
Wow.
I want this mountain now.
This is
And
my mountain now.
And usually the only thing that they have to worry about competing with is other Gormagalas. Other Gormagalas and Shira Magalas. Because they're the only things that are, are on the same level as they are. Here's the thing too. With Elder Dragons, they actually have human level intelligence, some Elder Dragons.
Oh god.
But this guy is even smarter than that. He will watch how you fight and change his plan accordingly.
Oh man, he's adaptive.
Yeah, he's like an adaptive monster that's just, oh, I see you're doing that. I guess I'll stop doing that then, so I won't get hit. But never along the lines where it's, oh, you're on the ground. I guess I'll just stay up in the air forever. Not like that.
Couldn't he?
I mean, he could. He has a super attack where he basically does like a supernova frenzy.
Wow.
But yeah, and sadly, I was not able to get its weapons because in the art book that I have, its weapons were just not in all one single place. So I couldn't cleanly do it. But this is what its armor looks like. His motif is angels.
Whoa. Yeah, very like.
His armor is very angelic.
Kind of Egyptian almost.
Yeah, there's also, I didn't get it, but there are also some where it's just like you have his wings on your back, like angel wings.
Wow.
Yeah. And I wish I could show you. So just imagine the Gor Magala weapons, but now they have the color motifs of Shir Magala.
Wow.
Or Sharuga Magala.
The
So they're just
arugula.
like
Arugula Magala.
They're so good looking. They're so good looking. I have no better fancier way of saying that. They're just so awe-striking, good looking.
Cool.
And here's like this concept art. They're thinking about like, what if we did like, because he metamorphoses, right?
Ooh,
what if we
butterfly.
did butterfly wings?
Ooh, that would have been cool.
Or like with
Or
like
like
maybe
stained
some
glass,
peacock
kind of
design.
moth, peacock. Whoa, that's cool.
Yeah. And then like this is its like super move that it does here.
What the heck?
Wow.
Yeah. Here's up some other concepts for it where it's like
Whoa.
an undead god thing. Yeah.
What the?
Yeah. And sadly, that's all I have. I can't show the weapons because they're all over the place. While you guys actually thumb through that PDF I sent you over Discord and, spend a minute or two, maybe at most 5 minutes, reading some of the names and actually Google searching those monsters. What I want you to do is I want you to find a monster that you find interesting, and then I will actually show you it with gameplay footage.
Okay.
Sound good? I highlighted the ones in green for you, Jason, because I know you love monkeys, and so I highlighted all the monkey monsters.
Do like myself some monkeys.
Yeah, I know you. So with this spreadsheet that I have, guys, the purple is flagship monsters for that game. The golden are elder dragons, and the ones that are pink to golden are flagship monsters that are also elder dragons. The ones that are crudely highlighted are the monsters I thought you might find interesting.
Gotcha.
Devin, you got that too?
Sort of. I just don't see any highlights other than.
Yeah, I only see the green and the pink and the gold.
I don't see
Well,
green. Oh, green.
there's a blue
Okay,
one
I
for
got
you.
Is there only one blue one? Because the only one blue one I
Yes.
see is Valstrax.
Yeah.
Where is that?
I didn't know which ones Devin's liked.
So run Gen 4 2.0, second column.
Yeah.
All right, I think I've got a couple.
That you
Different
looked and you
ones.
actually kind of like.
I didn't look them up, but based off name,
Ooh, what is it?
Ash Ketchawacha,
Ooh. Okay. Let's
and then
see.
the Chaotic Gore Magala, and then Steel Uragon,
Okay. Give me a minute.
and then
So-
and this, and then that.
One thing at a time. I'm only a man.
I've got 3 that I'm curious of.
And we'll be right back. All right. So, which monster do you want to see again? It was the Asha Ketchawacha.
The Ash Ketchawacha.
Because it sounds like Ash Ketchum.
Maybe. It's a little loud.
Better?
It's a little better, yeah.
Okay, now that we got blown out Jason's ears. So, these are my cats.
Hello, kitties.
One is, that's armor, and this is the Valtrax armor. But
Okay.
let's see if Ash and Ketchawacha is a thing in this game. I hope it is. Oh wait, better yet. No one shall be seated as Carl reads through menus.
I see Ketchawacha. I mean, it's in Monster Hunter 4G Ultimate, it says.
I think I'm either not that far enough into the game to fight Asha Ketchawacha, but Asha Ketchawacha is basically a subspecies of Ketchawacha.
I'm fine to see just regular Ketchawacha.
Okay. Because Ketchawacha I like because he is a goofy boy. So yeah, this is how the game used to play back in the old days. Is there any questions that you guys have about some of these monsters that you looked up?
I mean, like I said, I didn't look up like their designs or anything. I'm just going off name alone, so I don't have any specific questions.
Where the hell is he? You have Congalala. He's a monkey. There we go. And I guess I'll rock. Oh, so another staple of Monster Hunter is eating food.
Yeah.
Where, depending on the food that you eat, you'll get boosts for in-quest. You'll get boosts for the in-quest and stuff like that. Sometimes you'll get stuff like, I don't know what it's called nowadays, but feline insurance.
Mm-hmm.
So basically you can cart an extra time. So the way you can cart without failing the quest. And what I mean by that is, yeah, cart. So carting is basically when your health goes to 0, you don't automatically fail the quest. What you do is you get cats.
And they cart you back to base camp, right?
They throw you on a cart and they put you back to base camp, which is where you normally start. And if you cart 3 times, the audio is desynced on my end.
Seems fine now.
I guess I'll have to do it. There's just an input lag, that's all. Anyways, so there's a cart. Feline insurance makes it so you can cart a 4th time without it counting towards you failing the quest. And so eating is always really good. Oh yeah, here's the guaz that the Zenogre likes to eat.
Oh.
I wonder if I can scare it open.
It's an emu. I wonder if I can scare it. Starts murdering it.
Yeah, see, look at when you scare it, it'll lay an egg.
That's the egg of Gua.
That's the egg of Gua.
The egg of Gua.
So, in this game, this is my favorite armor set, my second favorite armor set, with my favorite designed weapon. Again, I'm a charge. If I do a lot of weapons, but if I had to main a weapon, it would be switch axe and charge blade. I like my transforming weapons. But this is my favorite designed weapon because it is calipers for measuring.
Yeah. And you're an artist.
Yeah.
It's really fun.
So this is the Ketchawacha.
That's it?
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Yeah, he's
He
supposed to be
looks
like
so
an II/lemur.
Yeah.
And he had good, like, glide. what's really cool is when he's enraged, you see his ears and how there's eye spots on them?
Yeah.
He will lay that over his face, protecting his face.
Wow. He's like an tap here sugar glider.
Yeah. Also, if I faint at one time, I will just end the quest because I also want to be able to show the equipment for some of these monsters. Because the Quechua has a really cool look at he's enraged and now he's covering his face.
No, that's cool.
What's interesting though, he does have one elemental attack. That trunk thing can squirt water, or what I like to believe is he does a snot rocket at you. Yeah. Also, a really cool thing about Monster Hunter is, so as you can tell on the screen, there's no way that we're, I just realized I wasn't recording.
You haven't been recording this whole time.
No, I haven't been recording the gameplay. No, I've been recording this whole time.
Okay.
So, the cool thing about Monster Hunter is, as you can tell, there's no health bar.
Yeah.
So how do I know if the monster's weak enough? Well, you know by the behavior and how they look. Because you can break parts on the monster. So like the Quechua, I can break his ears, so you can actually start seeing his eyes peek out from the ears. Another big thing with monsters is that you can cut off their tails. Hey, don't you run away on me. God damn it. I forgot old games, you can't follow the monster. There he goes. Following monsters is really hard unless you paintball them. Because on the paintball, they'll always show up on the map. Okay. But if you don't paintball them and they run away, you don't know where they're at. So, excuse me as I look around. And again, there's big, if you want to, this is kind of very old school, this method, because in World, you just have dragonflies that smell the smell of the monster and know where it's at. Okay, take this. Ah, I missed! So, big cool thing about Monster Hunter Generations is there's hunting styles and hunting arts. Right now, I'm doing the guild style, which is just, your basic bitch fighting style. It's basically how you play the game since the beginning. But there's other styles like aerial, adept style. Hit the bomb. There's like aerial and adept styles where it's like, oh, rather than, like, let's say the aerial, rather than having to dodge, you have a jump. So you can jump on the monster to mount the monster.
Mm-hmm.
See, that's how you can tell his face is broken.
Wow.
Turd. Yeah, I'm not playing the greatest right now. Anyways, and like say adept style, if you dodge at the right time, you can basically get the hell out of dodge or charge in to do a stronger attack.
Could be helpful.
Yeah, but there's in this game they added 2 more styles called Valor and Alchemy style. Alchemy style is a very good support style where you basically, depending on the point, like a bar you fill up, you get items. I don't play it, so I don't know how exactly it works.
Mm-hmm.
But Valor style is just basically, if you sheath at the right time as a monster is about to hit you, as a monster is about to hit you, and if you sheath, you do a dodge and you charge up to do a stronger attack. And once you fill up a bar, what now?
I said, oh wow.
Yeah. This guy's not ready to capture. So in Monster Hunter, you can also capture or hunt monsters. And they can break terrain, but I can break them! Oh, there he goes. He's shooting out snow. Can I go for it? I want to get red meter? Yeah! Ooh. Now I'm doing the real damage. Hey, Devin, do you have any questions?
I mean, I think I fought this guy. It was this, the same one. I think it's for you?
Yeah, this guy's from 4 Ultimate. Because that's, I remember.
I'm pretty sure we played
this guy. The real
reason
why I wanted to,
or you showed me.
episode on this. No, you played this guy.
Yeah.
So, the only way I've been able to get these guys to play Monster Hunter is if I bought the game for them, / the system. Because I think the only way you got to play for you is because I gave you my old 3DS with a copy of an extra copy of Monster Hunter on it.
Yeah.
And Jason just doesn't like me and refuses to play.
I just don't enjoy that.
Gosh.
I've tried it a few different times. I just can't get into it.
Ah! Stupid loading screens. I mean, I get it. If it's not for you, that's fine. But it's the greatest game in the world, and I think you should at least try.
Didn't you tell me it ups your credit score?
Yes.
Wait,
that was a joke on. That was a joke on Jason's stream. Is that like, dude, you gotta play it because it ups your credit score. Because Jason, I don't know if you want me telling this, but like, you don't have a credit card.
No, I don't. It's not that I don't have a credit card. I don't like have credit built up, so I don't have a credit score, nor do I have one.
And I'm saying, and what I'm saying is, if you play this game, you get a higher credit score, or start building up that credit score. All right, this guy's about to
only
be
it was that easy.
Passed out. Yeah. So I'm gonna trank him. So I'm gonna capture him. So you need trank bombs and pitfall traps. Or I could kill him, but that might take a little bit longer. And I want to get to some of the other crazier monsters. Because I'm assuming, Devin, do you have your monster ready?
Yeah, I was gonna go with Velstrix, the Rocket Boy.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah.
I don't think you need to show us the whole fighting sequence for the monster.
Oh. Okay. Well, I won't show the full one, even though this guy's about to die. I'll just be in shame. What shame? But yeah, so that's Ashen Ketchawacha. Sorry, that's Ketchawacha, not Ashen Ketchawacha. No, do not. Yeah, save my failure. Yeah. I think this is a good enough time too to cover some of the weapons. So this is a longsword. It's basically Samurai Weeaboo, the weapon.
Yeah.
But there are, again, a bunch of weapon types, and I think this is the version of the game too where I can play as a kitty. But let me just change equipment sets. And I will go with this one. This is my second favorite armor set.
Oh, wow. Whoa, look at the RGB.
Yeah, I got RGB hair. So you get that by basically 100%ing low rank.
Cool.
Where you do every single quest. And that is no small feat, because in this game, this game was supposed to be like a celebration of everything. Sorry, I'm getting my buttons mixed up. Everything Monster Hunter. So this has the most monsters than any game previously. And sorry, I'm trying to talk and menu. So this is supposed to be a celebration of everything Monster Hunter. And so that's why it has almost except for a few, every monster that was ever in the games, in this game, okay, so oh my god, I can't finish the thought. I'm sorry, guys. You guys still there?
Yeah, we're just listening.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. It has every single monster in the Monster Hunter series, except a few exceptions. Actually, what if I know? But in this game, they decided not to have subspecies, so no Stygian Zenogre, no Ivory Lagiacrus. But what they did was the Deviants. So this is the game that introduced Thunderlord Zenogre. And this is a deviant of a monster called Tetsukabra. Think of a frog if he was the size of a Volkswagen Bug.
Oh my lord.
And had 2 giant tusks. Now,
Frog?
real tusk Tetsukabra is if a Tetsukabra kept kicking enough ass.
Oh, I fought in that guy. I remember that guy from World.
Well,
yeah.
you haven't fought Drill Tusk. Drill Tusk.
I haven't fought him. No, high rank
yeah, he's on a whole nother level.
Yeah.
He has
But
basically he has a
Tetsukabra
power squat.
Pretty cool.
He has a power squat that can one-shot you.
Oh no.
Yeah.
What is he? What is his elemental weaknesses?
Well, that's the cool thing. That's the cool thing about Monster Hunter is that the elemental weaknesses of the monster get passed on to the armor. So if you didn't want to pull up a quick wiki, you'd be like, "What's this monster weak to?" Well, you could go to the
Just look at you
and look at the armor. Yeah.
Okay.
That's helpful.
Oh, which reminds me, I definitely want to show you the Shira Magala weapons. Yeah. Good weapons. Auto sword, because I'm not evil. The people that don't auto sword, you have to have a better reason other than just I'm too lazy. So this is the Gore Magala.
But I'm too lazy.
Well, I hate you. How about that? How about that, huh? And this is what it turns into.
Whoa. Whoa. That's cool. I like that.
Yeah.
One thing I will say about Monster Hunter, regardless of whether you like it or not, the weapons and armor are really interesting.
Oh yeah, the designs of everything in the game is really cool.
Yeah, hold up. I have a special hammer. It has sleep on it. Like, this is the Brachydios hammer. And actually, that brings up to a good point. In Monster Hunter 3 Ultimate, the meta in that game
What the fuck is
was...
that?
Yeah, though it's a teddy bear. It has sleep status.
Oh. I'll beat you with a teddy bear until you fall asleep.
Dude, some of these weapons are too fucking good. Like, this greatsword is just a tree log.
Yeah, it's got mushrooms and everything on it.
This one is the giant fondue stick that the cat has. Well, yeah, this was a giant fucking kitchen knife. Oh, this is the longsword for Shira Magala.
Cool.
But I'm trying to find funny weapons. Oh, there's this.
A chainsaw?
Yeah, it's a chainsaw and longsword. Oh, no, that's not it. There we go. Here's Cha-Cha and Kimberly on sticks.
What the heck?
Yeah. They're also, I wonder if I still have it. I think it's in Monster Hunter. These are just fucking dope. So, I could go on. I could do another special episode just on weapons. I better just do, before I go off, I'll just set up the quest for the next monster. But basically, the meta has changed over the years. The meta in this game, sadly, was Go to the last boss on online, get a weapon or two from him, and only use that weapon.
It's kind of lame.
Yeah, but because in this game, it had true damage numbers. So if you can see here, I only have 240 damage on this greatsword, but I also have that on this switch axe, or at least close to. No, it's actually the same as my switch axe. In previous games, and I even think in Monster Hunter World / Iceborne, they have bloated damage numbers. So, greatsword, get that damage number and multiply it by 4. That's its damage.
Damn.
Where, let's say, bow, like the bow, like a normal shooting arrow bow, will have only a multiplier of 1. And each weapon has a different multiplier. So if you want to figure out the true damage of a weapon, you would have to do a bunch of math outside the game. But in this one, they're just like, no, here's the true numbers.
So wait, is Monster Hunter World true or is it bloated?
No, Monster Hunter World is not true numbers.
Why they gotta make it complicated?
Well, it's not that it's make it complicated. It's to demonstrate the. No, fuck it. I just will do guild and not worry about Hunter Arts because I can't think of the ones I need. So the reason why they have bloated numbers is because a greatsword has higher motion value. Let's just say. So you'll be doing more damage because of how heavy each hit is, versus dual blades where you're just like, nicking and scratching a monster.
Like each attack animation has a certain multiplier, and in the animations for greatswords, the multiplier is greater.
Yeah. I believe that's what it is. I could totally be wrong. But the idea about having the bloated numbers is to just show which weapons are kind of like make them feel strong. Because if I had dual blades and they were stronger than a giant fuck-off greatsword, you'd be kind of like, why the fuck am I using greatsword?
Yeah. Especially when you can tack like 1,000,000 times faster with those.
Yeah.
So much going on. It's so
oh my god, yeah. And you're watching, I have to do it, and all talking. But,
it's kind of daunting, man.
You're telling me this is why I spent a month researching, dude. But that's the, yeah, so getting back to weapons. Monster Hunter World kind of did weapons dirty. Where because of their design philosophy, you have a lot of just weird looking, like not cool looking weapons. The prime example, and probably one I'll put into the podcast, is the Brachydios dual blades. Brachydios dual blades look awesome. They have that, the stream of green in it from that blast status that you can do with the dual blades. And it just basically looks like you took a chunk of the monster off and then you're using them as daggers.
That's pretty cool.
While in World, they look like giant drumsticks. With little, with Brachydios scale on the
straight up
side.
drumsticks.
Not, okay, they called, here he is. Oh, what the? He just left.
Whoa.
Of course.
So this guy is basically a jet engine of an animal.
Oh, I see what you mean.
He flies
about
at super...
the dual blades.
Yeah.
Look like kind of like drumsticks.
Oh, you're actually looking it up?
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, those are crazy.
Yeah.
Instead of having wings, he has rockets on his back.
Well,
right?
his wings
I
are
think you've
rockets.
shown me this one, Carl. I think I've seen.
Yeah. So when we did summer camp, I had a bunch of kids try playing Monster Hunter with the demo version because I didn't want them ruining my save file. Where the hell is he?
That's funny.
The pains of old Monster Hunter
Carl was trying to get anywhere from 7 to 11-year-old kids playing Monster Hunter.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, it was the greatest
No
thing.
attention span for that. That's
There, I
funny.
paintballed him. So yeah, this guy is so coursing with dragon energy that he can use it to rocket propel himself. And he uses those wings. And I don't know if you can hear the music, but
super like,
sounds intense and loud.
Orchestrated.
Yeah.
And what the heck?
Is it loud for you, Devin?
It's not too loud. I mean, it's fine.
It just sounds loud. Like it feels like extravagant.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Angelic, kind of orchestral.
Yeah.
Die!
Sounds epic.
Yeah, it also doesn't help that
His eyes are super pretty.
Yeah. It doesn't help that I do. Oh, you see that move? He can like, shoot some missiles.
He shoots his
wings.
Uses his wings as weapons.
Yeah, those wings are his primary weapons. Stabs the ground. So I'm goofing up a lot because I'm used to playing Monster Hunter World, and so the button layouts is different. So I'm like on the fly trying to relearn. So I'm sorry if I goof, audience. I am ashamed of my lack of Monster Hunter skills. So Devin, do you have any questions about this guy?
Well, I kind of want to see his weapons and armor.
Well,
but,
my cat, Latte, is wearing his armor.
Yeah?
And here's the really cool thing about this guy's weapons. Mm-hmm. They are either peak sharpness or so dull I can't cut butter. So, if you
no
look
in
at certain
between.
weapons, in some weapons you slowly degrade on sharpness. Oh, now he's down. You slowly degrade on sharpness. With Valhazak, it's either white sharpness or red sharpness. And red sharpness would mean you're so dull that you would bounce off butter.
That's gotta change up the gameplay for his weapons a little bit.
Yeah.
You gotta make sure you sharpen if you get into the red. That's for sure.
It kind of reminds me of, so I'm going to say Steve, but there's a monster called Seregios. And it's equivalent, think of a parrot, didn't have feathers, but it had scales. And the scales acted like feathers.
Oh, okay.
Colloquially in the community, he's called Steve. Because when he was first introduced, the Monster Hunter company, Capcom, who make Monster Hunter, didn't release a name. It was just, look at this monster. What could its name be? And so as a community, everyone just like, let's just call him Steve then, so we know like we have a name to talk about him.
Yeah.
And it's just stuck. He's Steve. So, oh shit, he's doing his super move. Oh, he just ran away. So, back to Steve. Steve has a cool thing where his weapons, if you dodge roll like this, adds a point of sharpness.
Interesting.
So for every time you roll, you bring your sharpness up again.
So it's kind of like a way to synergize your playstyle with the weapons strengths.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so so if you're like, okay, I want to be able to have max sharpness all the time, Seregios, Steve Greatsword is like the best weapon because Greatsword, you're not hitting fast at all. It's super slow. It's one of the slowest weapons. So you do a quick draw attack, and you dodge roll, and sheath. You're back to max sharpness again. So you're never going down in sharpness. You're always doing critical hits, basically.
Nice.
Actually, I think this guy is literally the hardest monster I can fight right now, so I'll just abandon the quest because I feel like we're definitely over time.
Well, it gave us an idea of how badass he is, at least.
Yeah, well, that also gives me a chance to show off his armor, because the motif of, like, a jet engines and rockets.
I feel like that would make really badass armor, yeah. Can you fly, though, if you have his arm? No. Only.
No, I bet you anything the armor gives you speed sharpening.
Yeah.
This only applies to older Monster Hunter games. Monster Hunter World really changed the game when it came to armor. Like, first things first. Monster Hunter World. If I want to look at a monster's armor set, I go to his name in the armor, and I'll put some B-roll in the podcast. You go to the monster's name in the armor slot, like tab, and you can see how the full set looks on you. In this game, you have to go look at the pieces individually, separately, and so you just basically, and you have to sort between gunner and bladesmith weapons. Yeah. And of course, it's buried in menu. Okay, here it is. This is the chest piece. You see it, Devin?
Yeah. Wait, show me the front. Sorry. Wow, that is a large crest on the top of that chest piece.
No, I don't want to create it. I already created that armor piece on accident earlier today because I was like, where buttons to cancel?
That's funny.
This is his bladesmith helm.
Cool. You can't do a full view like in Monster Hunter World.
Nope, that's what I was saying. You can't do that. And I'm like, what the hell, game? You're kicking me while I'm down.
It's annoying when you go back and play old games how, like, a lot of the things you take for granted nowadays aren't. Yeah.
Oh my god. Well,
They
let me
aren't
show
a
you
thing.
what you need to do to level upgrade your weapon. I think I kind of already did, but I'll just pull it up again for reference.
Mm-hmm.
This is the most I can tell this weapon upgrades to. They can turn into this, or this. But even let's say I upgraded to one of those weapons, it would have its own list to go with it. But you don't know. While in World, you really get the spreadsheet in game of what weapons to get.
Makes it
Rather
so
than
much
look at a
easier
wiki.
not having to have a wiki open.
Yeah, no, I remember before I bought a Monster Hunter game, I literally went onto the wiki, looked at armor sets and how they looked and what skills to get, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna work towards that now. Here's the Steve Greatsword. I think we have time to show maybe one more monster if you guys have another one you really want to see.
Let me see. I think there might have been one. I don't know.
I had what was it? The chaotic gore Magala, if you can see that.
Oh, okay. I don't
not,
think I have that.
And maybe Steel Uragon.
Okay, let me switch games. Because Steel Uragon was taken out of this game. Because he's a subspecies of the Uragon.
Makes sense.
Yeah, no, I don't want to pet my llama right now. Let's switch games, switch gears. Now we're in Monster Hunter 3 Ultimate.
Real.
Yeah, and if it looks like there's a bloom effect, that's the game and not me. Yeah.
Man, this is
Look at
really stressful.
Yeah. And I don't know, this game warms the cockles of my heart, dude.
What?
This sends me right back to high school, spending my free time, trying to get friends to play the game. It's just it feels nice. Now if I can find the stupid Steel Jurgen, I know he's in this game. Oh, also the quick gamer flex. You see all these check marks? That means I've 100%ed those quests. god. This is
Ow.
painful.
Oh
I have
my
to
God.
go through every single fucking quest.
You good, Devin?
You see the ones. There we go. No. Ah. Oh, I hope. Did I get enough food? Do I have enough healing foods? Oh, it doesn't matter. I'm just gonna fight them real quick. Let me eat from the kitty. I want hairy tuna with a mega bagel to get defense high. Alright, let's go into quests. The one thing I don't miss is all these loading screens. Because with Worlds, the areas are just one big open arena.
It's kind of nice.
Yeah. Also, the verticality sucks in this game. Hey, you big stupid, over here. So this is the
Whoa.
Steel Jurgen. He's like a rainbow version of a normal Jurgen.
Whoa.
What he really likes to do is bang his chin around and fart on people.
Ew.
And that stench will actually make it so you can't heal because you smell too bad to keep any food down. Also, he likes to roll around like a roly-poly.
Yeah, there he goes.
Well, you gonna take another dump? Yeah. Just musking up all the place. So the meta weapon in this game is actually what I'm using right now. Is the they didn't have blast because this is the first time they introduced it. It was called slime, and only one monster had slime status weapons, and that was the Brachydios. And the Brachydios, he was something. He was kind of annoying to fight, but he's a fun monster. But the slime status is broken. Prime example is this weapon called the Kelby Bow. It itself doesn't have slime on it, but because it's a bow, you can have different statuses on it. And one of the statuses, or at least the elements you can awaken with it, is slime. And it does, every time, a single shot does 4 little ball shots. Well, if you have 3 elements, which unlocks an element on a weapon that does not have an element, you do that for the Kelly Bow, you're getting slime. And if you basically just stand in front of the monster, shooting the bow, you can kill it in a minute. Without even trying. Because the way slime works, like all statuses work, is monsters have a certain threshold. So I think the best way to compare it is to poison. Monsters, let's say I try poisoning a monster with a poison weapon. I want to poison a monster. I can hit him with, a weapon that does, let's say, 80 poison damage. So they'll get poisoned the first time. They'll get poisoned a second time. Maybe a third time. Rarely, depending if how much damage. Oh no, he's gonna fart on me. Yeah, it does. But you probably won't poison the monster for a 5th time or 4th time, because it's basically the number of poison damage you need to do grows exponentially. You follow? Or does that make sense?
Kind of. It makes sense.
Yep, makes sense.
But here's the thing about slime. On every single monster, other than Brachydios, all those thresholds were super low. And because the Kelby bow did 4 slime shots in 1 hit, you're basically multiplying your hits 4 times with every 1 time you hit. And so it just exponentially stacked up. And, oh, look at a little teeny tiny monster. I'm not going to fight you.
Cool.
And so, yeah, that's how my understanding of how slime was broken. Is because all monsters had a really low threshold, and when the explosions went off, it was like you literally blew up a powder cake. Because in this game, you can set powder cakes. But I think you get the idea of how this monster works, right?
Yeah, makes sense.
What was that, Devin?
Oh, sorry. I'm good.
Okay. You said you want, and I was wondering when you wanted. Do you want me to show off more Monster Hunter? We could do an extra long cut of the episode, right? Right? Well, I think, as of right now, that's enough showing for Monster Hunter. Is there any last questions before we end things?
No, I think that's everything.
Yeah, you covered it pretty good.
But here's my next homework assignment relating to Monster Hunter. And I think you might already know what the assignment is.
Just get to master rank in Monster Hunter World, right? Easy.
I know for you, Devin, I need you to get to master rank in Monster Hunter World because, and as I'm showing off right now, this is where I'm at in Monster Hunter World. I have the Furious Rajang armor with the Summer Festival kitty, who looks like he's ready for his Hawaiian vacation.
He's ready to go.
Sounds good to me.
And Jason, your homework assignment is to find a Monster Hunter game that you want to play. Because guess what? This game has like one-off side game. One in particular I know you will like. And if you don't like it, I don't know who you are. Where is Jason? It is called Monster Hunter Stories.
Monster Hunter Stories.
Yes, it's basically if Monster Hunter played like a Pokemon game.
Okay.
What?
Yeah, actually I will pull it up. So yeah, Monster Hunter Stories is basically a very story-driven game where the idea is that you're not a hunter. You're not hunts monsters. You bond with monsters and you ride on their backs like mounts.
Okay.
And you basically go around collecting different eggs. You take them back home. You raise them, hatch them, and they become your battling buddies, basically.
I see why you said it's like Pokemon.
Yeah,
see? And you do certain super moves with certain monsters, like this is the Kirin, the Yankaku, Rathalos, and there also was an anime of it too. And it's a very much a fun game and just simplifies a lot of certain aspects of Monster Hunter in a very children's game. And if you don't want to play it on your 3DS, that's fine. You can play it on your phone.
You play it on your phone?
Really?
Yeah. It's on it's on mobile, like phones.
This game.
Yes.
Is it this game or is it like kind of like mobile?
This specific game, they ported it to cell phones.
But is it the game as a whole, as if I bought it on the 3DS, or is it?
Yes.
It's not like microtransaction or anything.
Yes, it's not microtransaction.
Cool.
Mm-hmm. So that's your homework, Jason.
There's no play
for the next time. I want you to at least.
I love finding Sorry, side note.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
I love finding mobile games that are actual games and not just mobile games
so
full of
far between. Dude.
There's none. It's so hard. I know probably not your guys' cup of tea, but Grand Theft Auto San Andreas, you can play it on mobile.
Yeah.
And I got it. It's pretty cool.
So Jason, your homework is to figure out this game, like how to play it, whether you want to play it on your DS or on your phone. Devin, your homework is to play more Monster Hunter with me so we can get to Master Rank.
Yeah. Definitely.
And the audience, I want to let you guys know we're going to take a little bit of hiatus again because I'm going to be doing school. Jason's going to be starting school, and things will get a little too hectic. But we will have another episode. We will have a special. I don't know how they call it on TV, but basically, we're going to get back together and we're going to reminisce over our the
reunion.
episodes.
Yeah, sure.
Reunion. Yeah, we're going to have a reunion episode. So until then, thanks for watching. We really appreciate it. I've been Carl.
I've been Jason.
I've been Devin.
And thanks for watching.